Hello, folks. Bo Flowers here with Flowtex Energy, and I've got a story for you. This is a story about an oil opportunity and the kind of cash flow that could possibly completely change your life. Imagine this: $25,000 or more hitting your bank account every single month, month after month, from one smart decision that you make today. That's what this Trident project is all about. We're talking about a 5-well program in a proven Texas field where oil has been flowing for decades, almost 100 years. A field where every part of the puzzle, from the geology to the execution, is stacked in our favor. And isn't just any field. My partner, Andy Whitehead, he runs our operations here. And his father, Marvin Whitehead, was the kind of wildcatter you only read about in Texas history books. Back when the big companies had written this area off, Marvin studied maps, trusted his instincts, and punched holes that changed the way people looked at this part of Texas. And that's the same trend we're drilling in today with modern technology now. Decades of production history and the same Whitehead family and that grit running the show. But let's get real for a minute. Talk about the risk. Oil and gas isn't a sure bet. No well is 100% guaranteed. And if everything went wrong and we drilled 2 duds and the repair work on one of these wells didn't work, you could lose your investment. You're not going to lose all of it because in this 5-well program, 2 of these wells are producing today, and they'll start cash flowing and paying you monthly income checks the day you come on board as an investor. But the main part of this and the big chunks of money to get that $25,000 a month we're looking for is coming from drilling new wells. And although we have all the seismic and all the data stacked in our favor, we could drill a couple of dry holes. And if we drill 2 dry holes, we would not get the bulk of the money that we're looking for from this investment. But I'm confident as we go through this and you just go through the information you have in front of you, you'll see why we're so confident that 2 dry holes are not going to be the case. I've been in this business long enough to see dry holes happen. I've drilled them. My family's lost money on wells. And if we miss here, you'll still get the tax deduction to make the money from the current wells, but the huge income potential is gone. Okay. And now that we've talked about the risk, I've got the lawyers happy. Let's move on and talk about why oil and why now. The world still runs on it. Cars, planes, shipping, manufacturing. It's the foundation of this global economy. Prices today are steady in that sweet spot around $70 a barrel, which makes our wells very, very profitable. And here's the thing. The supply is tightening. U.S. producers have cut back. Investment in new wells is going down globally, and the global reserves are under pressure. Meanwhile, demand isn't going anywhere. That's the recipe for stable rising oil prices. Supply and demand. Demand's rising, supply is tightening, so we're in a good position in the oil business right now. Even better position is in this field. This field sits in one of Texas' most productive corridors in a trend where Marvin Whitehead, the godfather of the oil business in this area, proved that there was more oil here than anyone ever thought. And now, with our team, our new technology, our very well planned out plan, we're set to bring even more of it out of the ground. We're not talking about a tech bubble that might burst or stocks bouncing like a yo-yo. This is a hard infrastructure producing American oil. Income that hits your account every single month. Backed by IRS-approved tax deductions that can save you tens and thousands of dollars this year alone. Talk a little bit about my company, Flowtex. My name is Bo Flowers. I'm the president. I founded this company in 2014. We're not promoters. We're operators. We've drilled over 50 wells. I've managed more than $50 million in capital since our founding. We've delivered in distributions on every producing project since 2014. Our team is made up of specialists. Myself, I've got nearly 2 decades of structuring oil and gas partnerships and executing field operations. I've done this a lot of times, very successfully. Now, we already talked about Andy. He grew up in this. His dad, Marvin, who we just spoke about, he's the VP of operations and our actual in-the-field operator. He's a second-generation oil man who runs our projects like clockwork. And we've got Jimmy that handles all the economic side, and we have a full geologic team of experienced petroleum geologists and geophysicists, in-house 3D seismic workstations that specialize in these Frio-Miocene and other Gulf Coast formations, using a combination of legacy well logs, production history, and modern 3D seismic interpretation to find the best locations. We don't just pick a spot and hope. We overlay historical production maps with the latest seismic imaging to precisely target where we want to drill, dramatically reducing our dry hole risk. We've gotten very good at this. Now, let's talk about this project. This is the Trident project, and it is a 5-well project that blends immediate income, short-term growth, and long-term upside all in one package. Located in the Texas corridor where we've had repeated success. Your capital is being deployed directly into the optimization of producing wells. We've got 2 wells that are already producing. We've got 1 well that was producing for 5 years, still even has 1 virgin zone in it that hasn't been produced, that needs to be produced. It just had some mechanical errors and needed mechanical failures on the downhole production equipment that needs to be replaced. And once we do that, we bring that well back on in line. We're going to do the seismic finalization and permitting, the groundwork for the new pads, all the land, legal, and contingency reserves. And the result here is a cash flow ladder. 1, you get immediate income from 2 producing wells the day you come on board. 2, the step up in income is that Hughes 5 well we talked about. Once we get that repaired in the next couple month or so, then we're dramatically increase the already good returns that you're getting from the first 2 wells. Then, here in about a month and a half, the 2 wells that we are going to drill, the Apollo and the Hercules, 2 brand new wells with extreme upside potential. We're talking 400 or 500 barrels a day if we find what we're looking for. So we're talking about the layer, going into those layers. We'll talk about layer 1. The layer 1 is the producing wells. The 2 wells that are producing that you have ownership into the day you invest are called Hughes number 6 and the Redbud. They're already online and generating steady monthly income. That means from the moment your capital is deployed, this project is producing and you're earning money. They're stabilized. They're low decline producers that set your income floor. Moving up to layer 2, that Hughes 5 we've already talked about a couple of times, and this is where things get interesting. Hughes 5 is a well with a strong history. I drilled it. It produced steadily for more than 5 years before a mechanical failure shut it down earlier this year. It wasn't a geological miss. It's already made a ton of oil, and there's still a ton of oil there. The oil's still there. The reservoir is proven. We know we can produce it. The problem is with the casing and a packer issue that we know how to fix. All this fix involves is running a new liner, replacing the damaged packer, and recompleting the producing zone. And our crews have done this type of work many, many times before. And the repair is fully scoped, budgeted, and ready to go. Once Hughes 5 comes back online, that's within the next 30, 45 days, it's projected to roughly double the project level monthly income that you have from the first 2 wells. And unlike exploration, we're not hoping there's oil there. We've already produced it. We know it's there. We don't have a dry hole risk with those. But then we'll move on to layer 3 in this project. And this is where our geological team shines. Apollo and Hercules aren't blind spots. These are 2 new wells we're going to drill, and they're the result of overlaying decades of production data with modern 3-dimensional seismic imaging to map the subsurface structures with precision. Our geologists and in-house geophysicists have identified amplitude anomalies, structural highs, and reservoir continuity that tie directly to the proven offsets discovered by Andy and his father in the 70s and 80s, including other wells that we've drilled ourselves. We know where we're going. We know what we're doing. We're funding these new drills with a project cash flow. Your initial capital can start earning you immediately. Now, let's talk about where Trident really stands out and talk about the tax strategy. Here's where the tax strategy in this project, the IDCs, the intangible drilling costs, are what you get to write off this year. 100% of the IDCs are deductible this year. On a 1-unit position here, it's putting you in position to make over $25,000 a month. About 80% of that is going to be tax deductible this year. Yeah, you heard me right. That means on a cash flowing asset that you are going to be making money from day one on a $225,000 investment, you're going to be able to write off about $180,000 of that this year, no matter what. All you guys are in the top tax bracket, just like me. So that means if you put out $225,000 into this project, start making money day one, Uncle Sam is going to give you $70,000 of that back when you do your taxes next year. He's paying $72,000 of you to drill these wells for high income earners, it's a no-brainer. You get immediate cash flow. Let's talk about this. I can go back through it. I've kind of rushed through it a little bit, but let's talk about the risk management involved when we were putting this project together. You get immediate cash flow from 2 producing wells. Hughes 5 is a repair of a known producer that's already made us a ton of money. We know there's a ton of oil left in the ground. Then we've got 2 new wells, seismic back drilled, that reduce the geological uncertainty using this 3-dimensional data. This project has it all. But let's talk about the main thing while you're here and why we make any investment in oil or anything else, and that's the money you can make. A 1-unit position here, you could take a half unit if you wanted to, but 1-unit position here is $225,000, most of that tax deductible. And on the base case, just the 2 producing wells, if the repair doesn't work and we drill 2 dry holes, you'll be making about $1,700 to $2,000 a month, which is about a 10% annualized return, worst case scenario, after you save $70,000 with the IRS. That's the worst case, lowest case scenario. But even on a mid case, if the 2 new wells that we drill are dry holes, and all that we're able to do is repair and get the Hughes number 5 back producing like it was a few months ago, in that case, and we get reasonable production like we had it at before, that monthly income, without having any drilling risk yet, goes from $1,700 to $2,000 a month, almost doubles. And then we're talking $3,800, $4,200 a month. Now that's almost 20% a year, not even considering the tax deductions, if both the new wells we drill are dry. We don't think they're going to be dry. We've got a hell of a track record. We've got a hell of a lot of geology and science behind this. And if we drill 2 good wells, discovery wells like Andy's dad did here just 40 years ago, right down the road, and we get 150 to 200 barrels a day from each one of these wells, you're talking about $25,000 a month in and month out, to every single investor that has a 1-unit position. Yeah, do the math on that. It doesn't take long. You're talking about having your entire investment back in 1 year if we find out what we're looking for in the 2 new wells after you save $70,000 with the IRS. I'm telling you, folks, this is a no-brainer. This isn't pie in the sky. This is real, tangible American oil assets. I mean, when you're talking about that high case income, that isn't just a bump in income. For many investors, that could be life-changing money. That's over $300,000 a year in supplemental income. But here's the deal. The Trident project is a private placement. It's only 25 units available originally. I think I've got 6 left as of now. This is the first offering that we're sending it out to the general public. The other 19 were taken by our existing investing partners, so there's not many to go around. Let me be blunt. You can't afford to sit on the sidelines for this one. You've got producing wells from day one. You've got tax breaks that could save you over $70,000 this year alone. You've got upside to turn this into realistically life-changing income, over $300,000 a year coming back to you if we hit our goals. And you've got it in one of the most proven fields in Texas, ran by a team that's been delivering for Flowtex over a decade, but in general, with Andy and his dad, almost 50 years. If you miss this, you're going to watch other people collect those checks every single month and wonder why you didn't move when you had the chance. This is a perfect project for you to diversify your portfolio, get in the oil business, save some money with the IRS, and have life-changing income coming back to you. So we got to act now. The first step, you guys all have the full deck. This was just kind of a summary to give you the highlights so you can understand what you're looking at. Go through that information and email today, jay@flowtexenergy.com. Email him right now so he can get you on the schedule with one of our project specialists to walk you through the next steps, get any questions you answered, and really kind of break down any of the more technical info that I didn't cover here today. Just get ready. 3 of the wells are drilled. The repairs are ready to go on the 3rd. The upside is real. The tax benefits are immediate. This is the moment where you either take action and own it or you let it pass you by. I'm telling you, this is a deal that can change your portfolio, cash flow for years to come, and you do not want to miss it. jay@flowtexenergy.com. Email them today. Get scheduled with one of our project specialists. Be prepared with a list of questions, and he'll show you the next steps to come on board. Only 6 units, so you better act fast.